All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, The Power of Integrated Payments, Endpoint and Nuvei's Innovative Solutions for Global and Domestic Success. I'm Melissa Silverman, Endpoint's Director of Marketing, and I'm your host for this session. We're excited to have two industry experts with us, Paul Carrero, Product Manager for Donor Point Payments at Endpoint Automation Solutions, and Cole Valadez, Vice President of Strategic Partnerships at Nuvei. Together, they're going to share insights on how integrated payment solutions are changing businesses globally and domestically. Just a quick note before we begin, this session is being recorded, and you're welcome to submit questions in the questions box for the Q&A at the end. Okay, well, let's dive in. Paul, over to you to get us started.
Thank you, Melissa, and welcome everybody. So as you guys have certainly noticed, Scanco is now Endpoint Automation Solutions. This name change reflects our expanded focus on delivering cutting-edge automation solutions that integrate seamlessly with every operational endpoint, addressing broader business needs beyond just the warehouse and manufacturing floor. To that point, we're excited to partner with Nuvei, who, as we all know, has been a leader in global payments in this space for many years.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. I'm Cole Valadez, like Melissa said, VP of Strategic Partnerships. We're super excited to be a part and partnered with Scanco and their ecosystem. Happy to be invited here today to talk a little bit about what Nuvei brings to the fold, in addition to our Sage Intacct, Sage 300, Sage 100, and Acumatica integrations. And we'll be going through those in a little bit more detail today.
So as an industry leader since 1989, we've made it our priority to automate what happens within the four walls of the warehouse. And as we continue to learn and grow, our focus has broadened to take a more holistic view of what our customers need and offer solutions that automate and improve the processes before and after material movements occur within the four walls. As you all know, so much happens between each of these stages outlined in the diagram. Many times efficiency is lost between these steps. One of these impactful areas is actually the accounts receivable process. And I think everyone here knows the positive or negative effects that an accounts receivable process can have on an entire business. So our goal is to provide a simple solution to improve the impact that AR process has on each of these steps.
I think when you think about what Endpoint brings to the market as far as full chain of reconciliation through the entire supply chain, raw material to end consumer, it's very synergistic in Nuvei's approach on how we attach payment and integrated reconciliation back through the ERP, recording into the general ledger, making sure to update journal entries. And when you couple software that automates your supply chain and layer on payment reconciliation, it really helps to bring forward the maximization of the value of the ERP and all the tools that you're investing, allowing businesses to do more with less, which is the name of the game year in and year out. I think that's a really good segue onto how Endpoint and Nuvei have come to understand what we can bring as far as value to the marketplace in partnership. So a little bit about our genesis and what we bring to the B2B and ERP marketplace is formerly Sage Payment Solutions. There was a rebrand of a company named Paya, and Nuvei acquired it a couple of years ago. And through our genesis from Sage Payment Solutions, we have embedded native integrations for when it comes to payments and AR reconciliation. And through the years, we've expanded our offering into other ecosystems, which really help complement Endpoint's offering. So Microsoft Business Central, as an example, Acumatica cloud native product. Soon we will have SAP S/4HANA and SAP Business One, both as available offerings, in addition to Oracle's NetSuite. So through all of these integrations, it doesn't matter which ERP you're using, there's chances are Nuvei will be able to provide you with real-time data synchronization and payment processing. There's a ton of value in being able to understand when an invoice is sent to a customer, how quickly that customer can get paid, that revenue to get recognized, and it helps a number of things. Back office accounting workflows so that folks can close books sooner, your days sale outstanding or your DSO reduces. That speaks volumes when you're thinking about cash flow to the business and allowing businesses to grow, to then take that cash and convert it into, okay, maybe I need more raw materials for another project that we're bidding on, or we want to make payroll. And in addition to AR, we're looking forward to supporting accounts payable and invoice financing. So those are some of the things that you might look forward to, things to come. And at the end of the day, Nuvei is a global payments processing platform. We'll get to that in a second, but you can optimize your transactions, whether those are both domestic or international, and then the different subsets of payments and what those include. Predominantly, you see credit card in the US, ACH is a very common payment type. We support both through our integration methods. And that just affords your customers the ability to pay in the way that they prefer and which makes sense to them. The rest is really managing timing, terms, offering whether you're going to provide them a discount. So through all of these tools and the ability to control the customer experience, what we've found is a maximization around receiving payment, and that's what we're all in business for. Is really you need to recoup payment for your goods and services. So that might be a good segue onto the next slide of what Nuvei brings in conjunction with Endpoint around global payment acceptance. So in short, Nuvei, like I said, is a global payment processing platform. We operate in 50 plus countries as direct local acquiring entities. And what that means for the public is really we can do business, and we are registered and regulated entities in a number of those countries in the regions that matter: Latin America, North America, Europe, Asia Pacific. And as the global economy becomes really, it actually gets smaller as you think about the globe expanding in the supply chain and the reach that we have in today's world. It's very interesting and almost a necessity to be able to conduct business in potentially another currency or a different what we would consider an alternative payment method. So to that end, Nuvei processes in about 150 different currencies. We have boots on the ground, over 2,000 employees. By the numbers, we're total revenues in excess of 128 billion, or we're at about a billion in revenue. These numbers are for 2022. And then what you see in the ERP landscape is it really is a global offering. So you can differentiate yourself and maximize your value as you invest in ERPs and what those capabilities are. I can't stress that enough, right? So when you think about, okay, I got an invoice coming out of Sage and I'm going to send it over to the UK, offering them multiple modes to pay really sets your business apart and makes it easier for your vendors and your consumers. Beyond that, I would say if we want to go back 1 second, sorry, Paul or Melissa. So compliance and security advantage, all of the tools that we put forward and the way and the methodologies that we use to integrate are first and foremost PCI level 1 compliant. So the idea behind that is you're never going to store, process, nor transmit any sensitive cardholder data. And in that way, you're help insulating not only your customers and their sensitive account information, but you guys as the business, and help reducing liability. We can go to the next slide. So when you think of streamlining processes through the entire enterprise and attaching reconciliation and payment throughout, the concept becomes, making sure that you don't break this chain of reconciliation. I mean, you can think of it literally as a chain or a blockchain, whatever you want to call it. But integrating payment processing and introducing AR automation can mean a couple of different things. But to us, predominantly, it is helping the individuals who are sending out invoices, whether that's, ideally you're converting a paper process, so you're not, dropping an invoice in the mail. You're able to then digitize that, send it out via email. This is what AR automation brings to the market: digitizing an invoice, communicating that with the customer, letting them know that if they've exceeded their term limit, that you need to collect, and then offering a seamless way to pay. And typically it's just put in a payment link on that invoice, and then they can view all of their payments and their history and what is important to them. Okay, I have 10 invoices outstanding. I've paid 9 of them. It makes it a very friendly customer experience when they have the ability to log in and view and manage the data themselves. The value that translates into the business and the streamlined process and efficiency therein is there's no more need for phone calls. There's no more need for sending out letters of dunning notification like you didn't pay, you forgot this invoice existed because it's sitting in a stack on somebody else's desk. So leveraging the digital tools that we have at our disposal today really helps to reduce the complexity of chasing up payment at the end of the day, and helps your business scale and drive efficiency. And again, we see this time and again, year in, year out. We're always challenged with doing more with less and maximizing the tools that allow you to use your ERP the way that it's designed. It speaks volumes to the value that these systems bring to market and helps improve ultimately quality of life, because it's giving time back to those who would be otherwise picking up the phone or stuffing envelopes with and printing paper. And then beyond that, there's some other nuance within the market, right? When we think of ACH payments being a digital check, right? Both the FTC and the United States Postal Service have issued bulletins discouraging businesses to send out paper checks, and it's based around fraud is what we're seeing. So, right, you can literally hold up an envelope if it's not secure, and or it gets hijacked in the mail, and folks can then compromise an account holder's account and route information and then commit fraud, which can be blocked and offset if you digitize it and create a secure payment experience around it. And that's where I'm really excited to work with Endpoint and what they're bringing to market.
Yeah, that's great, Cole. And obviously, this partnership is kind of carefully selected and vetted between, both of our companies, and taking the strengths that Nuvei offers and combining those with the strengths and experience that Endpoint Automation has, and creating that kind of perfect solution for people to do one or many of those pieces that you mentioned there, whether it's, reducing the complexity or streamlining processes, or, protecting themselves and insulating themselves against, fraud risk. And so once again, it's important to emphasize that the impact of an integrated payment automation can't be understated. At every stage of the supply chain, there's always improvements to be made. So taking steps to streamline processes through pieces of your supply chain operations are always going to positively impact the entire business entity, and payment processes are no different. So much of this improvement is around the automation of routine processes. Like Cole mentioned, maybe it's just the stuffing checks in envelopes, or maybe it's something more than that that's kind of a manual process today. So in partnership with Nuvei, Endpoint offers an integrated payment solution to meet these challenges called invoice to payment, also known as I2Pay. So invoice to payment enables customers to pay on time and in the method that they choose. It also improves visibility for both merchants and customers to see outstanding invoices, while providing customers with self-service options like you see here. In their portal and in the form, customers can save payment methods, pay part or all of outstanding invoices, and never have to re-enter all of their business information for every single transaction. And when we talk about streamlining processes and increasing efficiency, it's important to highlight how invoice to payment eliminates the need to constantly chase down payments. And to go back to what Cole said, some of those important metrics like DSO, reducing those days sales outstanding, and improving the cash flow of your business. So when we put all this together, the effect is compounded efficiency and maximizing the investment into your ERP. And we see this partnership as a simple equation: Nuvei's payment expertise plus Endpoint's 35 years of automation and software experience equals a complete and integrated payment solution, which improves efficiency, customer satisfaction, automation of routine processes, and as Cole discussed earlier, the global reach of your business.
Yeah, and I think the end result is really transforming and maximizing everybody's business processing, supporting growth, reducing the DSO, maximizing ERP investment with tight integrations. And where I'm really excited to see this partnership grow is our combined experience around the ERP ecosystem. I mentioned Nuvei's B2B and ERP practice was born of Sage, was literally born of an accounting product. And where we excel and help our partners exceed and bring more value to the customers is around engineering what matters to the business. So this can be, attaching payment to maybe a document type that's difficult in Acumatica. So for example, like sales orders, quotes, invoice, right? At the end of the day, the document drives the business and drives the workflow processes. And that's where we've carved out a very successful practice in the ERP ecosystem by offering value around customization. And so, I would really encourage folks, if you're having challenges making the ERP work for you, oftentimes building around the payment processing, extending through Endpoint solutions through I2Pay can really actually help you accomplish workflow and business-based challenges. And that's what I'm most excited to be working with Endpoint and y'all on. So thanks for the time.
And I think that's a great transition to possibly some questions that we've received. So Melissa, I'll kind of toss it over to you. It looked like there were some questions kind of coming in as we were going through some of that.
Yes, thanks, Paul. Let me just pull them up. So I do have a question. We had a latecomer in, which is no problem at all. And they wanted to know, I missed the portion about I2Pay. Can you please expand on exactly what does I2Pay do?
Yeah, so I can take that one. And so I2Pay, also known as invoice to payment, is going to electronically deliver invoices to your customer, allow those customers to pay electronically using a form that was previously in the slides, but in a cloud-based form. And then it's going to create the necessary records back into Sage 100 for your team to post accordingly inside of that environment. So kind of speaking to some of what Cole mentioned about the tight integrations that Endpoint Automation Solutions and Nuvei have been doing historically for many years. Invoice payment also offers a payer portal for businesses to save payment methods, pay on outstanding invoices, and then also monitor their spending history with your business.
All right, I have another one, Paul. Can people use both credit cards and ACH to make payments?
Yeah, that's a good question. And customers can absolutely pay with either credit card or ACH methods through invoice to payment. And each of those payment methods can, like I said, also be saved for future uses. So they can always go back and kind of have a very quick and easy experience, self-service experience for your customers.
All right, I have another one, which I believe is around the time that Cole is speaking. So I'm going to put this towards you, Cole. How long does it usually take for transactions to settle?
Yeah, that's a good question. So two modes. For credit card type transactions, we're happy to support next day funding. And then for ACH type transactions, which is a different network, they're bank rails, there's some nuance there. We default to 48 hours funding. On a case-by-case basis, we can offer 24 hours funding. But at the end of the day, the check has to clear through the ACH, the clearinghouse, the bank networks. So, settlement times can be delayed if you have like somebody issuing a check from a smaller credit union. But all told, we strive for next day funding.
All right, and then Cole, this is to you as well. Do you support the level 2 and level 3 processing?
Yeah, so very good question. And very pertinent to B2B type transactions. So for those that don't know, level 2 and level 3 data are granular invoicing data, and it can be like tax amount, tax rate, unit count, commodity code. These are things that are generally available in the ERP. However, our gateways do support the ability to transmit that data, and the end result for purchasing cards and business cards is you get a lower qualification rate, and we're happy to consult and make sure that that works for individual customers because it can be significant and meaningful savings.
All right, perfect. I have another one that just came in as well. Can the transactions be done for an open sales order, or is it only for sales orders or AR invoices?
Yeah, so that I think would be a question more for me. So on the sales order side, so if you're creating sales orders and need to collect either payments or just a deposit on those sales orders, that is something that is currently being worked on and should be ready here in the next couple months, available for people to be able to use and collect those deposits on sales orders as needed.
All right, I'm just taking a look to see if any other ones have come in. It looks like that is all the questions for today. So I'm going to hand it back to you, Paul.
Great. Well, we appreciate everybody joining us today. And if you have any other questions, please reach out to us at the email that's listed here. You can also visit us at our new website there, endpointas.com. But we appreciate it. Thank you guys and have a great day.